Mail order/internet sales for the consumer. Chapter 1. The mail order/internet sales business. Mail order/internet sales. Mail order is simply a marketing method by which you sell your products either online, through direct mail advertising, media advertising, or by placing tiny ads in newspapers and magazines. The big thing these days is having a website. People still send out direct mail pieces and place tiny little ads, but the ads simply advertise their website or a toll-free number where they call for more information. In the old days, there was no internet, so in order to sell something by mail, you either had to advertise in magazines or newspapers, send out direct mail letters, place an ad or infomercial on TV or radio, start your own publication and put your ads in it, start up ad sheets with your ads in them, print up a catalog and send it out. Do a co-op mailing where you get together with other mail order sellers and put your ads all together to either send them in the mail or put them in a co-op publication. Nowadays, that's pretty well all gone. I notice that my mother, who is a senior citizen, still gets pummeled with ads for medical products in the mail, but other than that, I don't see it much anymore except for when selling a specific product to a specific group of people, like a new medical device to a doctor. They would simply get a mailing list of doctors and send them each a sales letter. Nowadays you get a website, then you figure out ways to advertise it both. 1. On the internet itself, mostly through search engines. 2. In the real world any way you can. Many people don't get their own website. They sell directly through an auction website like eBay.com. I'm not going to repeat the whole process of how to set up and advertise a website here. I cover that in another part of this book and in my business resource book. Get that if you want to learn about how to set up and market a website. It's all about learning from your competitors' websites, marketing your website aggressively so people know it exists. Make the best website you can to help and entertain people, with sales as an afterthought at the end of it. Chapter 2. Getting ripped off online shopping. Mail order scams. 1. Mail fraud is rampant because the con artist just has to send out mail and know that a certain percentage of suckers will respond. Legitimate scams are barely legal schemes that are rip-offs, but legal according to the bounds of the law. You can't complain that your order was not filled. You can't complain the idea is not possible. You can't complain the ad promised something it didn't deliver. The con man's weapon is ignorance and apathy. He knows that you or any of the authorities probably won't waste much time and resources chasing him, and even if he's caught, he will probably just cruise through the legal system and get a slap on the wrist. U.S. Postal Service. Consumer Advocate. 475 L'Enfant Plaza, SW. Number 5911. Washington, D.C. 20260-2202. 800-654-8896. USPS.gov. If a mail order company is scamming you, report them. Mail order scams. 2. Some ads for mail order scams are: establish AAA credit in 30 days. All you do is take $500, deposit it in a bank, and then ask the bank for a $500 loan, holding your original $500 as collateral. After getting this loan, you go to another bank and do the same thing. Within 30 days, you actually can be approved for 4 different bank loans, and when you repay them you have AAA credit. Wipe out debts without filing bankruptcy. If you owe 20 different creditors, it's common knowledge that only 1 or 2 will show up for your creditor's hearing, less if you owe less than $5,000 per creditor. You won't have to file a bankruptcy on the other 18 or so that don't show up personally, thereby wiping out your debt with these particular creditors. Refer to the Wage Earner Plan. How to stop credit collectors dead in their tracks. Just demand that all further correspondence about your debt be mailed to your home. By law, the credit collection agency cannot call you at home or at work again. That's why it's best to send this demand in writing by certified mail. This will stop them immediately. Federal jobs. This information can easily be found in almost any public library and in my job book. There is no reason for you to pay for it. Drug seized cars and homes. Again, this information can be found free of charge in any public library or in a few of my books. How to live abroad free. Universities and businesses in foreign countries pay decent salaries to English teachers, but you have to take a course for $2,000. Earn money reading newspapers. This legitimate scam involves being in the middle of a real estate deal. You locate properties for sale by owner and hook them up with buyers and charge a nice profit for your services. College degrees by mail. These are imitation degrees you can buy for $50 and $100 for novelty purposes. Many companies sell them through the ads of national magazines. Borrow money interest-free. If you have good credit, you can apply for overdraft protection at your bank. By setting up 2 or more checking accounts with overdraft protection, you can write checks on money you don't have. Before the check clears the bank, you simply write another check, from one of your other accounts, to cover it. Keep doing this back and forth between your 2 or more accounts, commonly known as check kiting, and you can have extra cash interest-free. Live in a $150,000 home free. Become a house sitter while the owners are away on vacation or other business-related trips. Of course you must have references. Get a free Mercedes or other luxury car every year. Form a non-profit institution and have this institution furnish you with the vehicle of your choice. Another way is to become a used car salesman and qualify for a new car by selling the most cars for the dealership. Still another way is to become a Mary Kay cosmetics dealer. Get the picture? 50% off hotels. Just tell the desk clerk when you check in that you are a government employee and qualify for the lowest rate. Most do not ask for identification, but if they do, tell them you left it in the car and try another hotel. Collect names for us. We pay $20 each. Guaranteed. The truth is, this company will pay you $20 for each name you collect for them. What they don't tell you is that each person has to spend $100 or more by placing an order before you get your $20. How to get 100,000 people to send you $10 each. This is cute advertising. For mail order neophytes, this is very intriguing. What the beginner finds out is that they are expected to run the same ad in newspapers and tabloids. Low price offers. A ridiculously low price is often the bait used by those who do not intend to furnish the goods ordered through the mail. If you get an offer to purchase an item for $10 that usually sells in the local hardware store for $75, there's got to be something wrong. Either the merchandise is stolen, inferior, or it won't be delivered. Insurance fraud. Drivers who have a bad accident or their driving record is not so good, may not be able to purchase auto liability insurance from the regular insurance companies. Fraudulent insurance companies compile name lists of likely prospects, make mail solicitations, etc., and will write insurance policies for anyone who will hand over a premium. The reserve funds they're required to set aside for payment of claims are manipulated into the promoters' pockets, while they pay only minor claims and hold up larger claims as long as possible until their insurance company goes into bankruptcy. This leaves many unable to collect legitimate claims. Thousands more finally discover that they have been paying high-rate premiums with no protection from liability. Best bet: purchase your insurance locally or check out the mail order company with your state insurance department. Retirement homes. The little 80-year-old lady who had just lost her husband a year ago and 160 other retired residents of Sunrise Manor just lost their investment and perhaps their final home. Sunrise Manor was a beautiful setup, separate little apartments condominium style with wide carpeted hallways leading to the dining room, game rooms, healthcare center, etc. The grounds were immaculate, with green grass, trees, and beautiful flowers. They had been solicited through the mail with glowing information about the manor. It was all true. A really good deal for the retired person. The initial fee for those who first signed up for a small room was $18,000 cash. Larger quarters ranged from $30,000 to $60,000. This initial fee was to be placed in a trust account, the interest to be used for capital outlay requirements, and most of the principal was to go to the heirs upon the death of the tenants. Monthly rent was nominal and included meals and limited medical care in the healthcare center, which was built in part of the manor. It was so attractive from a personal and financial aspect that there was always a waiting list of qualified persons who wanted to make their home in the manor. What happened? Apparently only the management knows as of this writing, but an enormous amount of funds are missing and overnight the manor was placed into bankruptcy. The court-appointed trustee is trying to put the pieces together while the prosecuting attorney is investigating the activities of the owner-management team. It appears the tenant's $18,000 to $60,000 investment is long gone. Apparently it was not retained in a proper trust account, a great deal of it was used for other than company business and being set up within the capital structure of the organization. Whatever may remain or be recovered, is subject to an enormous amount of creditors' claims. Unordered merchandise. Most people feel obligated to pay for small inexpensive items received through the mail, even though they did not order it. If this happens to you and you have not yet opened the package, merely write return to sender and let the post office take it from there. If you have taken it out of the package and it's something you have no use for, it's a good idea to keep it for a reasonable period of time and see if the party sending it makes claim to it or bills you for it. If they claim it, you may wish to be courteous and send it back cod. If they bill you, you really have no obligation to pay for it. You may want to consider it as an unconditional gift. Pressure your neighbor. You will get yours free from the commissions you make from selling the product to your neighbors. So you give the canned sales pitch to your friend, and rather than have you think he's a cornball, he purchases the product. He again repeats the process with his relatives, etc. And you get a cut from what they sell, and so it goes, down the line for 3 to 5 multi-level commissioneering stages. When the product is delivered, it's not what it was represented to be, and you find that you could have bought it from the superdrug store at half the price. You're mad, your neighbors want to kill you, and the money-making multi-level dream comes to a screeching halt. All because of the wonderful new product advertised in the morning mail. Mail order scams 3. Consolidate your debts. You have gotten yourself in over your head, and now there is no way you can meet all your monthly payments for your home, auto, appliances, credit card charges, etc. The ad states, "Make it easy on yourself. Just pay us one payment each month, small enough so that you can handle it, and we will arrange with your creditors to pay them off." That sounds good. Get the creditors off your back, but later you realize the monthly payments you're making to the consolidator go on practically forever. After adding commissions, fees and interest, you don't gain on the principal amount you're trying to liquidate. Read the large and small print. Chain letter. A chain letter is a letter you get in the mail saying you will make a lot of money if you send the people on a list printed there $1 or so each, put your name on the list and mail out X number of copies to keep this chain going. It's legal if nothing is offered but a chance to get rich, and the 20% response rate is overinflated. Still, this is how these people operate. They assume that a certain percentage of the population will answer and they will make their money that way. Charity and contributions. They just keep coming. The junk mail asking you to donate to worthy causes. To feed small children who are starving in Africa. To help the senator or congressman to fight for a cause. To stop the experimental use of animals. To help find a cure for human ills. To give money to the communists so they can fight against freedom, and to the freedom fighters so they can fight communism. Which ones are legitimate and merit your full support? Which ones are operated by swindlers? Who knows? The government gets into the act by cutting down the amount of legitimate contributions you can deduct from your income tax, and some TV ministries are going to hell unless they get $10 million by the end of the month, or unless their top officers can draw over $1 million a year and live in $2 million mansions. The only way you can know where your money is really going is to stick with the organizations you're 100% familiar with. Check with the Chamber of Commerce and the Better Business Bureau, or if you're planning on donating substantial amounts, analyze the organization's financial statements. Also review how it will affect your tax status. Work-at-home propositions. There are a number of good work-at-home programs, but there seems to be more of them that are losers. Everything from selling books through the mail or setting up a local secretarial service to sewing baby clothes. There is always an advance fee of some kind required for work-at-home projects. Some of them are good producers if a person stays with it long enough. Others work at it for months, hoping to break the 75 cents per hour barrier. You better think twice before paying for the chance to work at home. Medical fraud. Medical quacks preying on the ill, offering cures or medications through the mail are gambling with their freedom. Medical fraud is one of the major priorities on the list of the Postal Service investigator, and the fraudulent quacks are generally put out of business before they can do any real damage. However, there are many programs, such as reducing diets, certain vitamin pills, hair restorers, and hundreds of cure-all drugs making the rounds in the mail across the country every day. Most of the products offered are a bad substitute for the real thing you could get through your doctor or from the local drug store. Even if the promoter's not convicted or fined, the Postal Service can deny him the right to receive remittances through the mail if it's determined that false representations have been made. Also, unless you watch your medical and hospital bills with a microscope, you can expect to get invoiced for hundreds to thousands of dollars from various labs around the country where they say your blood was sent for tests you didn't authorize or didn't even know existed. In fact, it usually doesn't do any good to use your microscope. Unless the hospital gets $4,000 out of you for a 4-day stay, they apparently will go bankrupt. Are you heir to a fortune? If you receive fancy-looking legal documents offering to provide information which could help establish a claim to an estate left by long-lost or deceased relative, worth several $1,000,000, forget it. Save your $10. You will receive the information, but it's just worthless paper telling you how to go about locating missing relatives or heirs. Fake contests. You get them in the mail every day. You have won. No purchase required. All you have to do is fill out the contest form, order the gadget if you wish, and send the order form along with your money. As long as you enjoy junk mail, want to waste a few stamps and get a thrill out of wanting to see if you have won anything, there is generally no real damage done, even though most of the come-on gimmicks are deceptive and often 100% misrepresentations. Correspondence courses. The promise of a good job or a money-making business of your own is usually the lure of fake correspondence schools. They guarantee that a job will be available when you complete the course. They will accept anyone who will sign a contract, making them liable for several $100s, usually paying on a monthly basis as they proceed through the course. There are always a few correspondence schools, promoted and handled through the mail, that have completely worthless programs. You could probably learn better and much more economically by checking in at your local library and searching out the hundreds of how-to-do-it books on just about every subject. Sending unordered parcels cod. It's fraud to send parcels cod, containing items not ordered by the recipient if the value is considerably below the cod price. Schemes to collect non-existent delinquent debts. Victims receive notice of alleged past due accounts or inquiries through official-looking documents requesting pertinent information. The information is then used against the victim in different ways in order to get his money. Sale of memberships in a buyer's discount club, whereby it's represented that members will save large sums of money by being a member and whereby savings are non-existent or remote. Mail order scams against business. Use of this information is your responsibility. I'm just the messenger. You're your own moral compass. If you're a business, be wary of these common scams. A lot of people try to scam companies doing business by mail. Some are as follows. Go to the magazine section of the library, get a bunch of those postage-paid postcard-style letters used for starting magazine subscriptions, fill them out and send them in with either a fake name or a variation of your real name. Magazines will come for several months until they realize you didn't pay the subscription. When you get a bill, simply X out the name, write on the letter, "Doesn't live here," return to sender and put it into a mailbox. Do the same deal with record clubs, tape clubs, etc. Anybody offering upfront promotional items with a deal where you have to buy more products down the line. Get the free books or whatever it is under a phony name and don't buy anything more. For phone number, either use a fake number or one that's almost always busy like the local government unemployment office. If you see an ad offering a catalog or info for a few bucks, send them a letter requesting the catalog but don't send any money. You could say your buddy recommended them to you, in which case don't give away the fact that you read the ad in a magazine. All post office boxes are just numbers, but companies code this part of their ads so they know who's responding to an ad from a particular magazine. Like if they advertise in Eating Well magazine, they might make their address epub 55EW, the EU signifying Eating Well magazine, so they know how many responses the ad pulled. So get rid of the EU and just address it to epub 55 to make it look like your buddy gave you the address and you look like you will be a good prospective customer. Order anything you want by mail order, but don't send a check or anything. Some orders might slip through and you will get the order anyway. Place an order, then when it comes, send them back a letter and say you got items A, B and C but didn't get D. They will send you a second item D. Fill out an order form, put it into an envelope, then make it look like it was tampered with by slitting the top then stapling it. If it's not an expensive item, the company will think somebody tampered with it and will send you the product. Get a rubber stamp made up saying exactly what the postal service would use in this format, damaged in handling in the postal service. Place an order but neglect to include the cost of 1 or 2 items as an honest mistake. It might work, it might not. Don't place an order but send a photocopy of a fake order form you filled out with a note saying you ordered the stuff 6 weeks ago and by the mail order rule, it should have been delivered within 30 days. If it's not a well-run company, they will give you the benefit of the doubt and send the product. For the above scam, they will usually send you the product if it's under $40, but if it's expensive, they will ask for proof of payment. You can make fake check endorsement by first buying something inexpensive from the company, then when you get the endorsed check back from the bank, go to a photocopy machine, magnify it in size and use liquid paper typing correction fluid to change it to look like a big ticket item, go back to the photocopying machine, shrink it down to size, and now you have photocopy proof of their endorsed check. You can do the same thing by buying a cheap money order and changing it to make it look like a higher endorsement. Merchant credit card scam for returned goods. A guy who works in retail told me a trick some merchants use to con people who bring back merchandise bought on a credit card and want their credit card credited with that amount. The merchant copies the price and item onto a credit slip, puts it into his imprinter and pushes it forward only but not backward. This prints the customer's name, account number, and expiration date on the card but nothing else. He then asks the customer to sign it. He keeps the original sales receipt and hands the customer the credit slip without his merchant number imprinted on it, so when the customer gets his credit card statement at the end of the month and sees that the credit is not on it, he has no evidence, no sales receipt, and only a credit slip that he could have forged. If you ever bring goods back bought on a credit card, make sure the merchant pushes his imprinter both forward and backward such that his merchant number is imprinted on the credit slip. Chapter 3. Laws and Rules of Mail Order. Mail Order Laws. You do not need a special federal or state permit to operate a mail order/internet sales business. The material you sell must be legitimate, however, and you cannot be deceptive or misleading in claims or advertising. If you offer something free, it must be free and all claims concerning money must be honored. If you use testimonials in advertising, they must be real and available to investigation. Frauds are discovered and are prosecuted. The federal and state governments require you to report all income, but you certainly can take every legal deduction. Once you make a good deal of money, it's often worth every penny to have an accountant fill in your forms. If your income warrants it, you will be expected to pay income tax quarterly. Most states have sales tax, so you'll have to find out the regulations concerning the collection and payment of these fees. An advantage to this, however, is that you can get a state resale number and may not have to pay state sales tax on some of the items you need for your business. If you keep accurate records and report the proper information to the authorities, you'll have no problems. Mail order complaints. If you ever receive one of those letters from a postal inspector stating that the mail order/internet sales program you're promoting might be in violation of postal law or regulations, simply fill out the form they have enclosed and send it back in. Quit promoting that mail order/internet sales program. A letter from the post office simply means quit promoting the program they have requested. I would be willing to say that most mail order/internet sales programs are ordered to stop for one or two reasons. The person who originated the program promised too much and got behind on filling his orders, or some people became too impatient waiting to receive their order and turned in a complaint. The complaint is sent to a postal inspector who, in turn, sends a form letter to the person conducting the sale of the program, asking it be stopped. A lot of good mail order/internet sales programs have been stopped because of one person who complained to a postal inspector. Just one dissatisfied customer can ruin your mail order/internet sales program, so keep everyone happy. Honest mistakes can happen, but remember the customer is always right. Work to fix any mistakes immediately and keep the customer informed of all progress. This, combined with honest mail order/internet sales programs, will prevent those postal inspector letters. Laws regarding mail order. In general, it's against the postal regulations to utilize the U.S. mail service to transport hazardous materials, pornographic materials, and chain letters involving money. For more specific information, write to Consumer Advocate, U.S. Postal Service, 475 L'Enfant Plaza West, Washington, D.C. 20260, USPS.gov. You may also obtain a free copy of the Consumer's Resource Handbook. It's designed to help consumers resolve complaints about goods and services with local, federal and state agencies. Write to Consumer Information Center, Department 532, Pueblo, Colorado 81009, 888-8 Pueblo, pueblo.gsa.gov. A selling by mail booklet can be obtained from Small Business Administration, 409 3rd St., Washington, D.C. 20416 to 1110. SBA.gov. The mail order/internet sales rule can be obtained from Federal Trade Commission, Publishing Office, Number 130, 6th and Pennsylvania Ave, Washington, D.C. 20580-0001. FTC.gov. Chapter 4. Mail order for the consumer. The legal aspects of mail order. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission has rules that give customers certain rights when they order by mail. Mail order customers have a right to know when they can expect their order to be shipped. In a nutshell, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. If you hassle a company that gave you poor service by getting the various consumer protection agencies to send them query letters about the complaint, if they're a respectable, solid company, they'll refund your money just to get rid of you, although some won't. There are some sleazy companies out there, although most established mail order dealers want to stay in business, so they treat customers right. Federal Mail Order Rules, 16 CFR 435, require companies that take consumers' orders by mail to ship the merchandise within 30 days of receiving a completed order, or within a different time frame if it is stated in their ads. Notify consumers if shipment can't be made on time and give them the choice of waiting longer or receiving refunds and cancel their orders and return their money, or give them credits on their charge accounts if the revised shipping date can't be met, unless the consumers agree to another delay. There also might be laws regarding mail order in your state. Contact your state or local consumer protection agency. Mail order is a prime stomping ground for con artists. According to the 30-day rule enacted by the Federal Trade Commission, FTC.gov, if you don't receive the item, within 30 days or the time stated, such as 4 to 6 weeks, you're entitled to a refund within 7 days, no questions asked. If you don't get satisfaction in any aspect of mail order, you have several channels of complaint. First, you can send the company a letter or two stating your position, then, if they don't respond, send them a letter threatening to cause them greater damage than your paltry order was worth and include the addresses of several consumer protection agencies in it. Tell them that you're gonna write them all poison letters until you get justice. If that doesn't work, stay true to your word and start writing letters. Contact the Direct Marketing Association, Better Business Bureau, the Consumer Protection Agency, the U.S. Postal Service and the State Attorney's Office where the company is located. The Direct Marketing Association, FEDMA.org, a membership organization made up of mail order companies, acts as the unofficial mediator of mail order complaints. Even if the mail order company is not affiliated with them, they will contact it and try to resolve your problem. Next, I would write to the Federal Trade Commission, ftc.gov, just to register the complaint. They won't take individual action about any one particular problem, but if they get enough complaints about this company, they'll investigate them. The next action-oriented agency is the U.S. Postal Service, USPS.gov, which goes out and investigates mail order fraud in a full-fledged law enforcement manner. The Consumer Advocate's Office of the USPS, USPS.gov, is different from the Postal Inspector's Office, so if you contact them both, they may each investigate your problem separately, which is good because you're dealing with a bureaucracy that sometimes doesn't move as fast as you would like it to. A definition of fraud is when they deliberately mislead the consumer in some way by misrepresenting themselves and/or their products as something better than they actually are. It's a fuzzy area. For example, if they show nice pictures of products in their catalog, then when you get them, they're just pieces of cheap plastic. It's questionable as to whether you can sue, and it's questionable if you would bother wasting your time doing it. Most people just write it off to experience, and that's what the unscrupulous mail order con artist is banking on, that he hooked you and sucked you in, and it's too trivial for you to worry about. The best piece of advice I can give is to check a company out first with the Direct Marketing Association, State Consumer Protection Agency or the Better Business Bureau before you order, to see how long they've been in business, whether anyone has heard of them before, and if they have any complaints against them. Only buy from catalogs that seem legitimate, meaning a street address and merchant credit card ability, but even then, you're still not guaranteed protection. There are companies out there that copy the catalogs of legitimate companies, send a bunch out unsolicited, take a bunch of orders, then about 3 months later, they're gone to set it up all over again with another catalog. Regardless of all the fraud, mail order is truly the thing of the future, and there are many reputable companies out there that prefer to do business for the long run rather than try to rip you off on a one-shot deal, so don't be too cynical about it, just be wary before buying something directly through the mail. There isn't anything that special out there that you need to buy directly from a piddly ad somewhere. Get a catalog if they have one, check it for some kind of warranty or a statement declaring the terms of the sale. Most reputable companies will include something like this in their catalogs. Try to pay by credit card or check. Start off by ordering a low-priced item, and if you get good service, escalate up from there over repeated orders. If an order is lost in the mail, the company is responsible for replacing it. When ordering by mail order, write the company's address on the check so that if you don't get your merchandise, you'll have their address handy on the cancelled check to complain. If you don't like the product, it hasn't met your expectations, or it arrives damaged, package it all up and send it back immediately and get a receipt from the post office verifying that you've sent it. I've ordered things that I've never gotten, but I lost the address, so I couldn't complain to them. Many mail order companies have liberal return policies to entice customers, so they should send you a refund or credit for your next order. This is why credit card payment is the best way to go, because you always have a record of the payment and you can pursue them to cancel the charges if you have to. When you complain to a credit card company, most do an immediate chargeback and lay the loss on the dealer, but lately I have seen credit companies refuse to get involved. They send you a letter stating it's between you and the vendor and not their problem. Some credit card companies will eat the charges if you get poor service through a dealer and don't get satisfaction from him or her. When you get poor service from a vendor, send a letter to the credit card company telling them about this unscrupulous dealer and they might reverse the charges. If you receive unsolicited products, you're legally entitled to keep them. If you bought a defective product through an ad in a magazine or from TV, contact the originating medium, magazine, TV, etc., and tell them about it. Even though they're not responsible, it may be enough to stop them from accepting future ads from the problem company. You might not be able to physically go over and confront the people, but you can make life miserable for them such that they regret ever having crossed you. The 30-day rule technically starts when the company receives your order. If they can't fulfill the order within 30 days, they're supposed to send you a letter stating such and giving you the option of canceling out or waiting a little longer. The 30-day rule also requires that they do it at no cost to you, thus providing you with a postage-paid envelope in which to reply. Photo finishing services and gardening product companies are exempt from the 30-day rule. Keep a record of the name, address and phone number of the company, goods you ordered, date of your order, amount you paid and method of payment. Keep a record of any delivery period that was promised. If you are told that the shipment will be delayed, write the date of that notice in your records and the new shipping date if you've agreed to wait longer. When you use your credit card for mail order purchases and you don't receive the goods or services, or they were defective or misrepresented, use your credit card protection rights to nullify the purchase. If you see a product advertised somewhere that's too good to be true, it probably is. Don't be shy about contacting the postal inspector. Sending cash leaves no record of your order, meaning it will be very difficult to prove your case should it ever get that far. Phony insurance, credit repair, credit card acquisition for a fee, loans for a fee are all tried. And true mail order/internet sales scams. Promises of beauty, health, and wealth are the biggest mail order/internet sales scams that just keep going on and on. A popular scam is for a con man to send solicitations to businessmen/company owners, asking to either advertise in a phony, non-existent magazine or directory, or to donate $20 or so to something like a policeman's service club, and their company name will be prominently printed in the yearbook or something like that. Charities are another big mail order/internet sales scam. Don't trust charities except for maybe the Salvation Army and a few others like a local, hands-on deal. Why does the president of the Red Cross get a 6-figure salary? And don't forget about the United Way with their high so-called administrative expenses. At a local policeman's food bank drive, many of the cops took large bags of food home for themselves. If you're really concerned about a particular, alleged charity, try to verify it through the National Charities Information Bureau. 19 Union Square West, NYC 10003. 212-929-6300. 800-501-6242. Give.org. A charity watchdog organization. They will provide you with information about how much a particular charity spends on altruistic things and how much on so-called administrative costs. Philanthropic Advisory Service. Council of Better Business Bureaus Inc. 4200 Wilson Boulevard, Arlington, Virginia 22203. 800-334-2406. 703-276-0100. 703-276-0133. bbb.org. They have a database of over 7,000 charities, will advise you on how to give your money and give you a book on the most popular charities and how they rate as legitimate operations. In order for you to claim an income tax deduction, the charity must be designated as a 501(c)(3) group. Be wary of mail orders/internet sales sweepstakes and contests, especially if they say you already won something. Check the catalog for some kind of warranty or a statement declaring the terms of the sale. Most reputable companies will include something like this in their catalogs. Consumer mail order organizations. Consumer assistance books are at number 381 and number 640 at the library. You might find a shopping book or two at number 381. Get the free Consumer's Resource Handbook and the publications catalog from the federal government's Consumer Information Center, Pueblo, Colorado 81009 pueblo.gsa.gov, 202-208-7679, 888-8 Pueblo. It contains listings of consumer protection agencies, major corporations, trade organizations plus the addresses of many state government agencies. For information on the web about any state government, use the following formula. State point 2-letter abbreviation .us, for example. State.al.us for Alabama. Center for the Study of Services. 733, 15th St. Northwest. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-347-7283. Fax, 202-347-4000. Checkbook.org. Many free booklets, also products database. Consumer Fraud Hotline, National. 800-876-7060. Advice and Pamphlets. Direct Marketing Association, DMA. Mail Order Action Line. 1120 Avenue of the Americas. NYC 10036. 212-768-7277. Fax, 212-768-4547. Consumer@the-dma.org. the-dma.org. They will investigate your complaint against a mail order company and get your name removed from unwanted mailing lists. Mail Order Association. 1877, born St. Wantoff, New York 11793. 516-221-8257. Federal Trade Commission. 6th and Pennsylvania Ave. NW. Number 130. Washington, D.C. 20580. 202-523-3598. ftc.gov. Free booklet, a business guide to the FTC's mail or telephone order merchandise rule. Report your complaint to them. Although they won't address you directly, they will investigate the company if they get enough complaints. Major Appliance Consumer Action Panel. 20 North Wacker Drive. Chicago, Illinois 60606. 800-621-0477. National Consumers League. 815 15th St. Northwest. Number 928. Washington, D.C. 20005. 800-639-8140. nclnet.org. Consumer watchdog organization which processes complaints and offers pamphlets. National Electronics Service Dealers Association. 2708 Westbury St. Number 3. Ft. Worth, Texas 76109-2397. If you have a problem with an electronic component, they may help you resolve it. National Mail Order Association. 612-788-1673. nmoa.org. U.S. Postal Service. Consumer Advocate. 475 L'Enfant Plaza SW. Number 5911. Washington, D.C. 20260-2202. USPS.gov. United States Postal Service. Chief Postal Inspector. Number 3021. Washington, D.C. 20260. USPS.gov. U.S. Post Office Crime Hotline. 800-654-8896. USPS.gov. Report postal crimes. Mail fraud. When the mails are used to intentionally misrepresent a product or service, it constitutes mail fraud. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service is charged with investigating violations of the law, usually in response to consumer complaints. The best way to protect yourself from mail fraud is to recognize that it's a fraud and not become involved. This is not easy to do because of the attractive wording in the deceptive ads. Anything that sounds too good to believe is suspect. Medical formulas and gadgets that make insane promises are probably insane and you should stay away from them. Especially be cautious regarding some of the thousands of different weight loss products and overnight cures. Never purchase land through a mail order ad unless you or your personal representative has seen the land, it's as represented and the value is there. If the salesperson has shown you the property report, you can cancel your purchase agreement within 7 days. If no report was shown to you before signing an agreement, you have the right to cancel out within 2 years. There are a number of insurance frauds floating through the mails. Requests to sign blank insurance forms, last chance bargain offers, payments in advance and cash payment requirements could indicate con artists at work. Most everyone has received chain letters sometime in their lifetime, and if you are in the mail order business you should get several every day as a minimum. Chain letters are illegal and do not work anyway. We have all seen the ads offering job placement and job opportunities. Most of them are legitimate, but some are 100% non-existent or complete misrepresentations. Don't spend your money for the required fee until you have checked with your local consumer affairs office or Better Business Bureau. Then there are those who promise huge profits without risk in commodities, stocks, oil, gold, silver, or coins, through the mail or over the telephone. There are hundreds of very fine investment opportunities offered, but you can't risk your hard-earned cash or possibly lose your life savings to mail order or telephone swindlers. Several of the larger, well-recognized firms have gone bankrupt through fraud and management manipulations, carrying clients' investments right down the drain with them. Always use caution and investigate the company thoroughly before you put up one dime. Another favorite of the crooks is home improvements. Quite often you never see them after you sign a contract and pay them a deposit to do the work. If they send brochures through the mail and the work they perform is not as represented, it could constitute mail fraud. Get estimates from local service companies to determine if the price of the mail order offering is reasonable and in line. Check the references of the organization. The laws, regulations, and paperwork involved in setting up franchise operations are horrendous. Various large distributorships are equally difficult to establish, but generally do not have to conform to near as many controls and regulations. On the other hand, some mail-order distributorships and wholesale outlets require very little effort, and the home company has little control over their activities. If profits promised are unrealistic, or if the product or service is secondary to selling the franchise or distributorship, proceed with caution. In order to avoid mail fraud, read the offer carefully. Get the advice of another person whose opinion you trust. Deal only with companies or charities whose reputation and integrity are known. Never give your credit card number or personal, financial or employment information unless you know with whom you're dealing. Never send money for any free merchandise or services. Be careful of making impulse purchases. Keep a record of the order, notes of the conversation, and copies of the advertisement, cancelled check, receipt, letters, and envelopes. Take the time to shop locally and compare products, services, and prices to those in local stores. Check out the company with the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, your state or local consumer protection agency, or the Better Business Bureau. Mail fraud is a federal crime. Using your credit card or a money order might give you some recourse if you have a problem, despite your carefulness. Chapter 4. Mail order resources. Mail order websites. Your library probably has a few books on mail order/internet sales at number 658.72-872 or HF5466. ftc.gov/bcp/conlani/pub/buspub/mailorder.htm, a business guide to the Federal Trade Commission's mail or telephone order merchandise rule. nmoa.com/library, National Mail Order Association. mhbn.com, free articles. homeincome.com/homebuys/magazines, list of mail order magazines. mailordermags.com. businessbookshop.com/mailorder/617.html. 2020software.com/associates. admart.net/sell_mo.htm. ama.org, Marketing Association. commission-store.com/marketing. directmailordersource.com. directmarketingevents.com. dmnews.com, Direct Marketing News. Didacomp.com, 800-858-3666, Mail Order Manager Software. EasyOrder.com, Software. Equilibrium.com, Software. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/mail_order. Entrepreneur.com. finance.groups.yahoo.com/group/mail-order dealers. havencorp.com, 800-782-8278, software. hoaxcomm.com, direct marketing magazine. homeworkingmom.com. howtoadvice.com/mail-order selling. howtostarthome-basedmailorderbusiness.com. imacination.com, software. import-export-help.com/mail_order_business.htm. irs.gov, get booklets number 334 and number 587. iuniverse.com. knowhowzone.com. linuxwebhost.com/reseller plans. livingnow.info/story/10182/how_to_start_a_mail_order_business. mailordercentral.com. mailorderresources.com. mango.com/partners. mazu.com, the truth about mail order. mediacentral.com. momonline.com, mail order/internet sales. nationalpostalforum.org, how to do. newhavensoftware.com, software. nmoa.org, national mail order/internet sales. nmoa.org/press/start-mailorder.htm. old-pete.com, start a home mail order business. opsandfulfillment.com, operations end. paypublications.com/mailorder.htm. plateaubiz.com. profitsonline.com. sales.com. sba.gov, Small Business Administration. sellingpower.com. targetonline.com, 800-626-2689. tenantcheck.com/resellers. the-dma.org, Direct Marketing Association. thinkdirectmarketing.com. thk.net/uk/jm. thomasregister.com, get ideas for products to sell. usmonitor.com, 800-767-7967, Mail Monitor. usps.gov, Post Office. venister.org/secret-mail-order-product.php. wahoo-biz.com/mailorderbusiness.html. whosmailingwhat.com. workingfromhomejobs.com/mailorder/mail-order-business.htm. workshopping.com/mailorderbasics.htm. xlbworld.com/mocte, free articles and tips to start a mail order business. yourgoldenmailbox.com. Mail order resources. National Mail Order Association. 2807 Polk St. Northeast. Minneapolis, Minnesota 55418. 612-788-1673. nmoa.org. Direct Marketing Association. DMA. 1120 Avenue of the Americas. New York, New York 10036. 212-768-7277. Fax, 212-768-4547. the-dma.org.